Back at it again, and today we will add more features to our mod menu. Last time we added the teleport feature to our menu, but today we will add options that give our character insanely overpowered stats. The first option will be infinite stamina. With this you will be able to sprint forever, swing forever, and the second option will be infinite money. When you hit the buy button, no money will be lost from your character, and you can do this forever. If you have any suggestions for the next feature, then write it down in the comments. The Discord will also be in the description if you're interested to join the club. But remember to read the terms of agreement for your game and respect their rules so you don't get banned and so on. So how do we actually make this happen? And the answer to that is pretty simple. We search for the value of what we want to stay, then capture the instruction that changes the value, and we replace that instruction with code that does nothing. That is all, and I will show you 2 examples of this in this video. And we're back at the desktop. So I have the notepad from the last video, and I've opened Cheat Engine with the game active. So back is disabled, anti-cheats are disabled, do the same for you, don't get banned, so on. But how can we actually find these instructions that disable or can be disabled to get infinite health, infinite money, infinite stamina, infinite whatever? And that is by finding the value by, for example, searching for it. So let's take our money, for example. I'm going to go to inventory. I have a lot of money already, but I want more, or I don't want to spend it. So how we do, or what we do, is we search for the value, as I said, 405,993. We search for the value, we find the address that is the correct one. So it's only 6 here. Let's change the value in game. There is a guy you can sell stuff to here, and I bought a hammer, I think, and the new value should change. So as you can see, only one address had its value change, and it's the 46 ACC address. So let's take that address. We could search for the new value here, and that would be the only one showing up, since we filter the new address to follow this value. But we find the address that holds our value, and now what we do is, instead of pointer scanning like before, we will use find out what writes to this address. Before you do that, if you haven't already, go to debugger options in Cheat Engine settings and use the VH debugger, this one. Otherwise your game might crash. So now click on find out what writes to this address, and a little window should show up. Now go back into the game and change the value. An instruction should show up, and we can see here, if we read the instruction, it says sub for subtract, and then ESI plus 77C, and it's brackets, so it's a pointer, or it's read into, or whatever vocabulary or terminology you want to use, but it's an address plus an offset, which we put EDI, or we subtract EDI by. So let's go to disassembler, and here we can take a closer look. So the address that holds this code is this game86 rwdi.dll and a base address. So if we disable this or just write over it, we can actually make this function or null it, make it void, so we don't lose any money. So you can do this by right clicking and click on replace with code that does nothing and click OK. Now it should show up as NOP here, and if we go back into the game and buy something, we don't lose any money, which means you can buy whatever you want. Let's buy up something of everything. So now I have a lot of items and I lost no money. If we want to store this, we could normally write this in a sheet engine Lua script or a table, but we are using C# in this tutorial. So what we can do is go back to the disassembler, right click, restore with original code. You will see the instructions here. And what we can do now is right click and copy to clipboard, and then bytes plus upcodes. And here we can write money instruct and paste, and here we can see the assembly and the bytes and the address, which makes it easier for us to code our menu later on. And let's find another instruction to NOP. Let's find the stamina. I think that's a valuable one. So the stamina of the character, as you can see, is this blue bar, and when it depletes you will get fatigued, your character can't run, and so on. You can't block hit, so it would be nice if we could disable that instruction. As we did earlier, we need to find a value which corresponds to that one. And since it's a bar, we don't really know. And what we do then is that we search for unidentified value, but it's normally a float, that bar, or when it's a bar, so we will search for float and then an unknown initial value. So first scan and then run, so it goes down, or swing, but when it goes down we will search for decreased value. Keep on running, you can hit, then it goes down, search for decreased value again, decreased value again. I have hotkeys. You can set hotkeys by going into the settings and then hotkeys, and you can set the hotkeys for increased value, decreased value, and so on. I have for all of these ones since they are the common ones. But we search for decreased value, we can stand for a bit and it will increase again. Then we could search for increased. So increased, we swing. I will use my hotkeys. So it decreased, search for decreased. It increases, search for increase. Hit, decreased, 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 increased, increased. You get the point. So decreased, increased. You can search for unchanged value now when it's at the top, since it shouldn't change, and then we can get one of these faulty addresses removed. We have 14 addresses now. We could change them or test all of these ones, and I think that's what I'll do. So let's take these four in the start. So 148, so on, and 710. Choose a few so you don't. And if we look at the screen, the visual bar stays, but our stamina goes down. So it's not these ones, they are only visual. We can remove them. Let's check the 710. Nothing happens. Let's remove them. We know that it's not these ones. This 3 looks a bit suspicious. Let me check if it actually changes. It goes down to minus, so I don't think it's this one. But let's check the other ones. You can select a few and hit space to freeze them, and they are not frozen. Let's just make some hits to be sure. So yeah, not these ones. Let's check the last 4, and it's stuck. It doesn't even show sometimes, and our character doesn't get depleted. So you can just hit forever with this one. So one of these ones, or these addresses, is our stamina. So let's uncheck the first 2. Our stamina still doesn't get depleted, and at this address our stamina gets depleted. So let's remove the other ones. Now that we have the stamina address, like before, we will check out what writes to this address. Hit to make the stamina go down. And as you can see, there are 3 instructions here, and one will be the instruction that takes away stamina from our character. I didn't pay enough or close enough attention to see which one was first, but let's check this first one. So show disassembler and hit replace with code that does nothing, and it doesn't go down. It doesn't even show because we have removed the instruction completely. So we found it. Restore with original code, then copy it to clipboard, bytes and opcodes, stamina, insert, copy and paste. Okay, so let's add this to our forms application. And if you have followed the video series so far, you should know that we have 2 control pages, and I have this stats editor. But don't be scared if you haven't followed the videos, it will be the same. We will add a checkbox like this, checkbox. We will change the text to whatever we want. And in my case, it will be, I will change the text to infinite stamina and copy that, paste it, and write infinite money. So we have two checkboxes here. We can change the name if we want to. Let's call the first one stamina box. We will change the second name to money box, and then we will double click on the form to get to the load method. From the other videos, the necessary code that we will add for this tutorial is the swedz32 using, and add it from the NuGet. So you go by project, manage NuGet packages, browse, then search for swedz32 like this, or 64 if you're using 64-bit. But if you want a more in-depth tutorial on that, I will link it down in the description. But just know that you are using swed. We're initializing swed by using equals new swed, then the game. We're adding a module. We're doing some reading and so on. Let me remove that. And now we will create a function for this checkbox and so on. So double click on the checkbox and it will be checked changed, the checked changed event. So in here we will check if the not the checkbox, but this was the first checkbox, which is the stamina box dot checked. We will use the stamina box dot checked and then create a code block, and inside this code block we will use swed dot write bytes, and then parentheses we have the pointer address, which will be our module. I think it's the same as before, the engine. Let's just double check. So I've added already a pointer for the module, and yeah, it's that module. So we will just can we have this somewhere so we can see it now? But it's the module and then an address, which will be this address, and then some new bytes. So these are the old bytes, and the new bytes we will want to write are nopper bytes. String new bytes, and then 90. How many bytes were there? Separate them by 2. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bytes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bytes, and then close it. So this will do the same as Cheat Onion, and we have also an else to cover, which will be rewriting the old bytes. So just take the old bytes, put them there, and we're done. So do the same for the next checkbox. Change the box to money box and change the address so we have the correct instruction. No, my bad. Copy the address. And I think we're ready to go. So if my stuff from earlier isn't broken, everything should be working now. So let's start our beautiful trainer. Go on to stats editor, hit infinite stamina and infinite money. Let's okay, so it's not working. 1 second. Okay, so I found the error, which is it's not the same module. This is the game module, game logic, and that's the engine. That's my bad. So sorry for that. We will add second module, and we will initialize it by, or instance it by doing second module equals so and so, and in our checkboxes we will write second module, second module. I've also changed the addresses because the auto code generation forgot the address. So for the first address it's the correct address now, and the second checkbox it's also its correct address. It should be the second module. There we go. Let's test it now. If it doesn't work, I'll be mad. Let's I have sheet engine open, and at the game it shows nope, so something must be right. Let's check the second address before we hit the nope, and it went nope. Let's check in game. No stamina lost.
Now what do we got here?
Let's check with the money guy that our second option also works.
I heard this.
No money lost. And that will be it, guys. Thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments what you want me to do next. See you guys later.